Well, hello and welcome to another episode of Mobdogs. I'm Mats. As you can see, this is not a Tesla. In fact, it's the old Soul, and it's charging because it is a very small battery pack, and because it needs to charge. So you know. Well, you might ask why, and where's Blue Lightning? Lend it out again to someone else. So how is it then to drive the Soul again? Because I haven't driven one of those for the last, what, year? Year and a bit probably? I don't know exactly. Well, it's small. So the first thing that struck me was the range, because it was even less than I remembered. But it really isn't a big problem. When you know, I've done all my tasks this weekend. I've been to a car show. I've been to Sweden, done my shopping. Never been an issue. And because it's a relatively compact car, you can just throw it around and park it wherever you want to. And although the Model 3 is a smaller car than this, it's not exactly a compact small city car. You get used to things locking and shutting down on its own. So yeah, there is that. And there is the fact that I have used the wiper stalk to change gear. That didn't work. The wipers came on instead. That's not supposed to happen. But you know, that's how it is when things change around from what you're getting used to. Does the lack of range matter? It depends on what you want to do with it. You know, if you mostly don't travel, then this is going to be the perfect car for you, and it's going to be the cheapest car you ever run. Or you can just keep it as a car number 2, you know. There's many possibilities there. But it does prove the fact that range is more than just numbers. Range is it's in here, it's in your head. Because I've been sort of going the ladder now from this to the Ioniq, and now I have the Tesla. Do I need all the battery in that American car? No. I normally use about, I think this week I used about 50% of it. But you know, so I always have 20-30% I never use. Well, in the normal day-to-day traffic, probably even more sometimes. So you can say that that's been a waste of money. You can save a lot of money and bought something else. Yes, that is absolutely true. And now I will contradict myself when I say that it's nice to have those times you need it. And I know that if you go back to a few earlier videos, I said that was a stupid thing to say. Yes, it was at the time, but prices are falling and range is going up, at least sort of leveling at a place that's psychologically good and also practically sort of in the middle ground where you can live with it, and it isn't as limiting as it was earlier, because this car clearly has its limitations. Part of that is the form factor. It's a square on top of a square, so it's sort of, you know, not very aerodynamic. Just for local runabouts and the regional runabouts, they're great. So they're going to be living a long time still. This car has a lot of buttons for everything. I had made a video once about speaking of the buttons and the Tesla approach, and I think we're seeing more and more now going away from buttons and more over to screens. That of course dictates that the user interface must be well designed. I tried some of them and they're okay, you know, like the Jag and the Audi. The Jags actually I liked it rather well. It was full of clever little finesses. And the Audi was the virtual cockpit, sort of, yeah. So, and I think the interior of the Volkswagen, the ID3 looks very exciting. The buttons has its place, because you can go anywhere you want just with a push of a button. But of course, when you're used to the way Tesla structured their menus, which is just kind of as an index, then these systems show their weaknesses in that they're full of submenus and dead ends, and you also get lost. and you never really find what you're looking for, which is sort of stupid. But it is what it is. It was a nice throwback, sort of, to how I got into this. And it also shows how much have happened in the last 3 or 4 years, probably. I've gone from this being the norm to theoretically and practically doubling the range, more than doubling it, and doubling the charging time as well. And I have that's another debate. What's more important for you, range or charging time? I think it's a mix. As long as the range is decent enough, then having quick charge times, those few times you need it, is actually more important than having more range. Because you probably stop more often than you think anyway. And those stops probably takes a little bit more time than you think. For most of us anyway. Of course, it's always going back to something like this. It's kind of like, oh, but it was so good, and the seats were perfect, and the steering wheel and the feel, and it was so quick, and then when you come back and it goes, no, it's sluggish, the steering wheel is too loose, it's too tiny. But no, that's just the way your mind works for you. You always kind of construct things that isn't necessarily true. Still like the seats though, and still like the cooling of the seats. That's good, and it has heated steering wheel. The Tesla doesn't. I've argued the Tesla doesn't necessarily need to, because you can pre-cool the cabin. You can pre-cool this one as well. It has to be plugged in to do it though. Because if you plug it in where you live and you know when you get up in the morning, it's not an issue, is it? Same thing that I need 500 kilometers of range in my life. No, you don't really need that, because unless you use it every day, you'll be fine just going back and forth to work or whatever you're doing, you know. I wouldn't have gone a long road trip on it, but as a daily driver, perfect, no problem at all. So if you're, because these are really falling in price now, so if you're on a budget and you know that you just have local driving and you have access to power, go out and buy one, because it's a great little car. It's a bit limited luggage space, but you know, if you're just a young couple or a single person or something, it's fine. More than enough. You know, so a decent sound stereo, a good infotainment system and all that stuff. So sure, the lights are a little bit iffy, but you know, there's ways around that. The Model 3 just passed 20,000 kilometers today. In 5 months and a few days. So that's a bit. That's 4,000 kilometers a month, which is crazy. The world has moved forward, moved onwards from the Soul, but the Soul has moved with it and sort of got upgraded. And the new one is it's a great car. And now you have the range that many of the issues that I speak of in this car is no longer an issue at all. The new car is slightly more noisy, because this car has always been relatively quiet. I don't know what I did to it, but it is. Unlike all other cars from Korea, or Kia, Hyundai, they've always been quite noisy. Okay, I'll get on with my day now. So like, comment, subscribe, and all that stuff. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.